Title: College Days of Chaos. I'm Alex, a sophomore majoring in psychology. I've always been fascinated by the workings of the human mind, but on that ordinary Tuesday, everything I thought I knew about fear and survival was about to be tested in ways I could never have imagined. The morning started like any other. The lecture hall buzzed with the low hum of students settling into their seats, the scent of stale coffee hanging in the air. Professor Mills, with his unkempt hair and thick glasses, was mid-lecture when a piercing scream shattered the atmosphere. The sound sliced through the chatter, sending a jolt of adrenaline racing through my veins. Panic rippled through the crowd, confusion morphing into chaos. Students surged toward the exits, faces contorted in terror. I exchanged frantic glances with my classmates, the unease settling deep in my gut. Another scream echoed down the corridor, more desperate this time, and instinct kicked in. I grabbed my backpack and sprinted toward the nearest classroom, heart pounding like a war drum. I shoved the door closed just in time, the outside noise fading into a distant roar. We quickly barricaded the door with the desks and chairs, every scrape of wood against wood heightening my anxiety. I could hear them, the shuffling footsteps of the undead punctuated by guttural moans that seemed to seep into my bones. In the dim light of the room, a handful of us huddled together. Jake, the quiet guy from my psychology class. Lisa, a spirited debate team member, and a few others whose names I barely knew. Each face reflected a mixture of fear and determination, but I sensed an underlying strength among us. "We need to come up with a plan," I said, my voice trembling but resolute. "We can't stay here forever. We have to find a way out," Jake suggested, glancing at the window which offered a glimpse of the chaos outside. "Is there another way out?" Lisa asked, her brows furrowed in concentration. "Maybe the back door?" I nodded, recalling the layout of the building from countless hours spent wandering through its halls. "There's a supply closet near the back. If we can get there, we might find something useful." The thought of venturing out into the unknown sent a shiver down my spine, but I knew we couldn't wait for rescue. The creatures outside were growing restless, and I could hear their frenzied scratching at the door, like nails on a chalkboard. "Okay," I said, gathering my courage. "Let's stick together. We move on my count." Everyone nodded. Tension thick in the air as I counted down. 3, 2, 1, go! We pushed the barricade aside and bolted into the hallway, the stench of decay assaulting our senses. Shadows flickered under the harsh fluorescent lights as we moved stealthily, our footsteps muffled by the carpet. The hallway was eerily quiet, but we didn't have time to dwell on the ominous silence. I led the way, glancing back to ensure the others were close behind. Each creak of the floorboards heightened my awareness, every instinct screaming at me to turn back. But I pressed on, driven by the primal urge to survive. When we reached the supply closet, I pushed the door open and we rushed inside, the cramped space filled with cleaning supplies and boxes. My heart sank as I scanned our surroundings. There were brooms, mops, and a few discarded tools, but nothing that resembled a weapon. "We need to improvise," I said, grabbing a sturdy-looking broom. The others quickly followed suit, picking up makeshift weapons from the closet. "Let's check the back door," Jake whispered, his voice barely above a breath. We carefully opened the door, revealing a narrow staircase leading down to the basement. I hesitated, uncertainty gnawing at me. What if it's worse down there? Or it could be our only way out, Lisa countered. "We can't just stand here." She was right. Taking a deep breath, I nodded, and we descended the stairs, each creak of the steps amplifying my anxiety. The basement was dark, the only light coming from a single bulb swinging overhead, casting eerie shadows across the concrete walls. As we explored, I noticed the outlines of old storage crates and scattered debris. My heart raced when I spotted a fire exit sign glowing faintly in the corner. "There!" We can get out through there." Just as we approached, the door rattled violently, and I froze. The undead had found us. Panic surged through my veins, and I felt the familiar weight of fear pressing down. "Back! Back!" I shouted, pushing my friends behind me. With the broom in hand, I braced for impact, adrenaline heightening my senses. The door splintered as something heavy crashed against it, and I knew we had only moments before it gave way. "Help me with this," Jake shouted, pushing against the door. We all threw ourselves against it, but the force outside was overwhelming. I could hear the guttural growls, feel the heat radiating from the bodies pressing against the door. In that moment of desperation, I spotted the fire extinguisher on the wall nearby. "The extinguisher!" I yelled, pointing. Lisa sprinted to grab it, fumbling with the latch as the door rattled again. "Hold it!" I cried. Just as the door splintered open, the first creature lurched forward, its eyes wild and hungry. Lisa hurled the extinguisher, striking the undead and sending it staggering back. "Now!" I shouted, and we all surged forward, pushing past the stunned creature as Lisa sprayed the extinguisher in a white cloud. The icy mist engulfed the hallway, buying us precious seconds. We rushed through the fire exit, emerging into the cool night air, gasping for breath. Outside, the campus was unrecognizable, a desolate landscape of abandoned cars and shadows moving in the distance. The chaos of the world had spilled into our once safe haven, but we were alive. "Where do we go?" Jake panted, scanning the area. I looked around, searching for any semblance of safety. The library, it has strong walls and plenty of supplies. We sprinted across the open expanse, the sound of shuffling feet behind us igniting a fresh wave of fear. The library loomed ahead, a beacon of hope against the chaos. As we reached the entrance, we bolted inside, slamming the doors shut behind us. Inside, the library was dim, the air thick with the dust and the scent of old books. We quickly barricaded the door with heavy shelves and tables, our breaths coming in rapid gasps. "Okay, we need to gather supplies and find a safe place to hide," I urged, scanning the shelves for anything useful. As we split up, I could hear the distant growls outside, the realization sinking in that the world we once knew was gone. But together, we could forge a new path in the darkness. Our survival depended on each other, our quick thinking, and our resolve. With the weight of the situation pressing down, I took a deep breath. In that moment, I knew that my understanding of fear and psychology would be put to the ultimate test. We were in the midst of a nightmare, but together we would find a way to awaken from it, or die trying.
Please like, follow, and subscribe for more. Thank you.